Welcome to the news review belt of the AM show. We're glad to have you. And if you know someone who is out there, just tell them the action is right here. Orekodo Ewaha on the AM show news review. And I have my usual culprit, not a victim. He's not a sacrificial lamb, but he's my partner in good things. A Taddy boy. Western region, y'all. Repping in the studio. In the left corner. Mentuaso. We're not in a boxing match.
From the hunter land. Representing the Western region to the world.
So what? How's your week been?
It's been awesome, yeah. Yeah, tiring.
You've been out and about?
Yeah.
Power Grant,
yeah,
roundabout.
You see the action. That place, look.
This nation doesn't honor its heroes and heroines.
No.
Have you seen is it Theodosia Oko or whatever, the hockey?
The hockey pitch? No, I haven't.
I remember when, it was a bit new, and I think they even played an African
Yes, it was the African
something.
hockey competition that resulted in that pitch being...
Pass by that area now and look at it.
Oh.
You went and covered the Esipong Stadium.
Yes.
I'm not saying that it's a ramshackle, but the last time I saw it, it's been a while though, admittedly, but the last time I saw it, I was like, hey, is this what we used for? I mean, we're just a country that no maintenance, no proper maintenance structures, no preservation, no futuristic thinking. The Norwegians started a fund for future generations in the 90s or 80s or so. It has trillions of dollars in there. For us, we are destroying the future today through galamsey and all sorts of nonsense.
This country...
When you use certain words, people say, but nonsense is nonsense. If it makes no sense, it is nonsense. And that's exactly what we do.
I had a chat with this man. He's a colossus in the sports industry. He was part of those who constructed the Esipon Sports Stadium and really the AFCON 2008. Rex Dankwa. And apparently, anytime they construct such an infrastructure, and he was also part of the Theodosia Oko pitch, he says they do analysis on what sort of maintenance structure they have to put in place and the sort of maintenance they have to do after which period. It looks as though when we make those plans, then we leave it to chance. So we don't do anything to...
We leave them as plans.
Exactly. They sit themselves.
We plan for planning's sake. We plan merely to have a plan. Else we wouldn't have all the laws we have and all the regulations and stuff and not implement them. A typical example is galamsey. So we plan for planning's sake. We set up committees and commissions for committee and commission sake. It's all about the show. We must have full respect. So I'm showing you that I'm doing something when in effect I'm doing nothing.
It's shocking. Because see, when you get to places and you see how deteriorated they look, you ask yourself, so what do we do as a country, really? After spending money to put up infrastructure, then what? Then that's it? Or we do something else to it? Because look, the way we manage our affairs in this country, it leaves much to be desired. When I went to the park, and the park roundabout has been this for a long time. Shockingly, that's where most of the people who manage the Western region use. The Western Regional Minister is a good friend, but I'll tell him that he uses this road every day. Why he has allowed that portion to be the way it is, it beats me.
And the Western Regional Minister, fine gentleman, is it not the tall one?
Yes,
Kobi Ochedrako.
Fantastic young man. He's MP for this constituency, and he's been MP for a long time. He loves this city. So I don't know why he has watched on for this place to be like this. My hope is that he would see the good in this story and make sure that this place is fixed, because this is a man who contributed his quota to helping this country attain independence. You cannot honor him with this.
In fact, he should be saying, you cannot dishonor him.
Okay, thank you.
With this.
Thank you.
That's what they are doing. They are dishonoring him. Then don't put his name on it.
His name is there, and
that is the problem. You put the person's name on it, claiming you're honoring the person, and then that place becomes so dilapidated. And then, so what are you doing? You are dishonoring the person.
It's just so shocking. And this is the part where every mineral from the Western region that is, going to the harbor, passes. Every mineral, if you want to get to the harbor, they will use this runabout. So what are we doing? Such an important place. He's the same person who helped fix the road between this place and New Takrade. He should ensure that this place is fixed, because it's just a sad spectacle. And it's disheartening when you witness what happens there.
I'm going to say this, and competition dare not copy it, okay? But I'm going to share an idea with you. I think you should do this, and it will shock you what you will uncover.
Okay.
Next Hotline documentary. A nation that dishonors its heroes or heroines. Just go around.
Okay.
Go around everywhere where we've named this, that, public places, institutions, whatever, after great figures. Go and look at them and come back and tell me. Do you know, once I was in Ouagadougou.
Okay.
They have a major highway. Do you know whom it's named after?
No.
Kwame Nkrumah.
Oh.
Do you know the interesting thing? You will go to other parts of Africa and see monuments and others to heroes and heroines that we sort of denigrate. It makes no sense. They are ours, we don't celebrate them. It's like with Kente, the Kenyans, the Maasai outfits and all of that. You know, now with copyright issues and ownership and all of that, people are owning their brands. So even if you're going to use them in a movie or something,
you have to.
There are rights owned, and you must. I can tell people are. In fact, now people are the Chinese. Some Chinese are replicating it and selling it in other places. Ahenema, among others. There are some from some big brands. I've forgotten whether it's Louis V or, and they are selling them for. We have. We don't own anything. That which is ours. There was a former footballer recently. I was reading his story, and he's an ex, I think, Black Stars player, and he was saying that for him to allow his son to play for Ghana, they
won't. I mean, if he takes a cue from there,
I've just been helped out. Daniel Opare is his name.
Opare. Oh, okay.
Able director just gave me the.
Opare made that pronouncement. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge then, because this is just recent.
No, but let's face the fact. I think Mbappe once said that he wanted to play for
Cameroon,
and they said he had to pay.
Yeah.
There are people from Nigeria who have gone to... It's the same nonsense going across Africa. I have the skill. I can play. Mintia and Sana Wamamabo. Yet we want to win laurels since 1982.
Charlie? It's some way, and I hope that now I hear the Ministry of Roads and Highways have brought out a statement saying that they have taken notice of what we're doing, and they've already started works. But they sought to
before we started it. They hadn't taken notice,
they even sought.
They hadn't taken notice. What were they sitting there doing?
They even sought to blame the rainy season for what is happening. And when I saw, I thought it was disingenuous on their part. Because roads have
the rainy season exposes a lot of what they fail to see.
But that's why I'm saying that some roads have been like this since. And Paragon, like I said, it's been like this for so long a time.
Where we went the other time, where Jojo Kobina went, Iran Clinic.
It's been like that for a long time.
If I'm not mistaken, at least 3 years, dear. And it's the whole stretch, and look at all the way before, through the overhead. Have you seen how bad some sections of the road are? Even before you hit...
Nungwa as well. It's been like that for a long time. So if you bring out a statement, we acknowledge that you are saying, you've acknowledged that you are working at it. But for you to say, it's because of the rainy season, the onset of the rainy season, and that's you're not being fair. You're not being truthful with the people. And if you want us to move with you, you have to be truthful with us, you know. And so the Roads and Highways Authority, and sometimes you hear that these contractors they hire to do these maintenance works, they are not being paid. Last time, it's about 2 months ago, they wanted to even pick it at the ministry. So, yes, you say you have a program, but really, how effective is the implementation of those programs to ensure that potholes are fixed? Sometimes they begin as small holes, but we look on unconcerned, and they will expand to be, manholes. There's this Keten Junction thing I did some time ago. If you remember, it was we did on a citizen microphone. Today it's been fixed. Beautifully done. But you know what? They've left one hole before it and one hole after it. What will it do? It would expand and destroy what we've done already. So sometimes you wonder the sort of things we do in this country. The people who've been given authority to manage affairs of this country, I wonder if they really understand management or leading. Because for a road like that, oh, we brought out the story and look, you listened and you worked on it. Why have you still left a hole in front and a hole behind? These holes will develop and will still destroy what you've done. And we'll come back and spend more to reconstruct the road. Why do we do this to ourselves? A nation that we complain we don't have money, yet the little we have, we mismanage them. It's shocking, really. It's very, very shocking. So,
and that is why I've titled my blunt thoughts today, The Sleaze and Greed Factors of Our Misleaders.
Oh.
And Ghana Wept.
Okay.
The sleaze and greed factors of our misleaders, and Ghana wept. And you'll find out why. These same issues. But you know, I think maybe one of the worst crimes of our misleaders is the failure to accept it when they fail.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had conversations with a number of prominent people in Ghana. And sometimes all they tell me is, you know, sometimes all we want the leaders to do is acknowledge that. It's the sort of slap in the face when a government official, I don't want to name names, I don't want to mention people's names, but they come and sit here all the time. Oh, and I scored this administration 8 or 9 out of 10. And this administration is excellent and everything. You take us for fools. You think we don't see what is happening? Oh, the economy is, the vice president went recently to London. The economy is bouncing back and all of that. Bouncing back from where?
But as for that, I've seen the IMF also allude to that the economy is recovering.
Recovering?
Yeah.
Look,
maybe we should...
When you say we're getting robust again, let's take this slowly. People like to paint a picture. Inflation is ticking up again. Have you checked the latest prices of food items on the market?
Well,
our currency is still not stable. People come here and try and pretend it is stable. It is not. Even on the back of the 600 million. It is not. We will get there. In fact, no one wishes that we don't get there.
Moving up again?
It has been fluctuating. It has gone to 12 point something in recent times over the last, I think, 2-3 weeks. And it came down a bit to 10 something. Sometimes it hovers around 11 something. That's not where we want it to be. That's not where the business community wants it to be. That's not where those purchasing products, that's not where my friend who was taking a program, thankfully she ended in March, £750. She moved from paying around 7,000 cedis to paying about twice that sum within a short period. How will you manage? Do you get it? Yeah. Those are the real dynamics. So let's take things slowly. You said you would move us from taxation to production. You have 35% taxes on sanitary products. You call it a luxury. Are we correct? Are we okay? Do you get it?
Yeah.
So don't paint the picture as though everything were in order. But it is a process. We shall get there. No one wants us not to get there, because if we don't get there, all of us. So let's do this together. But when you can't admit to a fault, that is the worst form of leadership. When you can't accept that we erred here, we failed there. Oh, you know what, Kojo, I told you I would do this for you, but you know, under the circumstances, things have changed a bit. The amount of money I was expecting to take you out for lunch, Charlie, I deny your way. So let's postpone it to next week, or let's do this, Debbie. We are in the right. We've done the right thing. Okay, let's keep up that way and see where it leads us. But anyway, before we get into the papers, I will ask you about A Nation That Begs. You know, the second part now.
Yeah.
From hero to zero. But let me just acknowledge our sponsors, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, and they are offering free prostate screening. Father's Day is coming. Have you checked your prostate? Do you know the state of your prostate? Do you know whether you have any issues? Check it out. If you're a woman, have you checked out your fertility? Nowadays, fibroids and so many fertility-related issues. Have you checked yourself out? Don't be surprised and start laughing on the wrong end of your mouth. Head to Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Locate them here in Accra, Spintex opposite the Shell signboard. They are in Kumasi, Kronoma, way here behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takrady Anaji Estates, Kojo Brace's favorite, Takrady. Anaji Estates, Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswell, the Siamansama. You can reach them on 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. What do you make of that latest bit? We've had the Genesis. Okay, a nation that begs, the Genesis. Now we are looking at 0 to 0. Well, I mean, from what you've seen so far, what do you make of it?
Well, it sort of gets us to start thinking about where we have been, where we are going. I mean, if I know nothing at all, I think from Kufuor's time, we had given ourselves a new beginning. And we should have done things right, but it looks as though we have really failed in taking advantage of the things that had been done so that we could build on it. I'm not sure we have really done much. We've gone back to those years of begging again. You know, after our debt were forgiven.
The HIPC era basically gave us like a tabula rasa, a clean slate.
For you to start all over again.
And we ended up down the rabbit hole one more time.
You know. So, I mean, it's not only specific to this government. It is to all government that have come.
Indeed. You remember Mahama in the first one saying, this should be the last IMF, there.
You know,
oh, you are, here we are again.
Our pension to borrow, and I was at a program that Alan Chamantin was speaking, and he said, every government, if you leave them, they will borrow. Because they want to borrow to fulfill the promises they've made to the people. So there has to be a certain, limitations. And we have to be disciplined. Because if we were disciplined and committed, I'm sure we would not have gotten ourselves to where we are post-Kufuor. We had a new beginning. We were given a second chance for us to start. And then we, toppled it all over again. So I think that as a country, we should have a very hearty conversation about where do we want to be? How can we get there? And how do we ensure that we don't bruise ourselves in the process? Because from the way it is, it looks like we are just doing anything anyhow. We are borrowing to do anything. Don't we have any creative ways to handle our affairs? We've been blessed with natural resources. We've been blessed with everything that we could turn into, making us rich. Why haven't we been able to do that? Over the years, we've mined.
Does it make any sense to you that you're talking about mining?
Yes.
That we are the number one producer of gold on the continent.
That's why I was
that we are number 2 producer of cocoa. That we've been number 1 exporter of yam. That we have lithium. We have 3 oil wells. We have manganese, bauxite. We have the land, arable land for that matter, which we are destroying with Galamsey. So we have timber, yet we are going to the IMF, like
begging for 3 billion, right? 3 billion, eh? Now,
it's like the typical fool surrounded by water, yet thirsty.
But so all these years that we've mined, all these years that we've exported cocoa, all these years that we've done the things we've done, why haven't we been able to even say that now we can point to something and say, this, as for this, is as a result of our mining. And now Ghana even owns a mining company that when we mine, we sell and everything comes back to Ghana. Why haven't we been able to do that?
Kojo, let me ask you something. Years. Have you even taken a look at the mining communities?
Yeah.
Have you taken a look at
them? Yeah.
Obuasi, Takwa.
Achempem.
No.
And all of that.
Do you see the mining communities
yes.
where maybe you would think they would be like paradise because they are where we are? Have you seen them? The Western region, you have a number of
mining communities
areas. You produce cocoa, you produce gold. Have you seen the communities themselves?
Yeah.
Apt reflection of where we are.
Nothing shows that we are really, benefiting from these exploitations of the natural resources that God gave us. So why is it that after all these years we have not paused to say, where are we going? Because we've done this, and they say, and like we say, you can't keep doing the same things and expect to have different results. It won't happen. If you want to have different results, you have to do things differently.
And there's something, pardon my intervening, there's something that irks me. We first of all, we Christians ought to take responsibility, really, for where our country is. We're about 70% Christian, right?
Yeah.
All our leaders, people make the mistake of thinking Hilal Iman was Muslim. He wasn't so Christian either. He had his own faith in between. But point is, he wasn't Muslim. So practically all the leaders we've had, including the military, enterprises we've had, have been Christian. Like I am. We are Christian. Where have they led us? So that's a starting point for the conversation, Kojo, that I want us to have. We have failed woefully. Our leaders have failed. And we are where we are precisely because of that. And we will not even admit to the failure. I think it is pathetic. It is egregious. It is so saddening that we keep coming back to this point.
I mean, why is it that Ghana is not having a mining company that mines gold and we can keep everything to ourselves?
But even cocoa, in terms of real processing and all of that, how much of it do we?
We don't. I mean,
we have these private entities
a little
that are coming in.
And I was happy when
work,
Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire came together and realized that no, there is a bigger money to be fought for in the value addition end. So let us try and add value. We have now, what we are doing now is a livelihood differential thing that we are now determining. Now we come together and say that we want this for our pricing. But can we move a step further to say we are setting up a factory, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, we're coming together to set up a value addition factory, so that we will process majority of our cocoa in here. The monies we will make if we do that is more, and they know. The authorities know, and they have been saying it, that look, there is much more money to be made at the value addition end of the value chain than the raw produce and start of the chain.
Kojo,
so why aren't we taking advantage of that?
The frames you're wearing, they are likely made of some silica or whatever instruments with metals and all of that.
We have them here, huh?
If they were to give you those products raw and say, fashion your own frame, would you do it? And how much would you pay for that?
I can't, because I don't have the requisite knowledge.
You would probably reject it because you don't have the skills, or you would pay peanuts for that because it is not the frame you need.
Oh, but for the raw material, you pay peanuts,
But then when it is made into this frame, lovely as it is, then you are willing to fork out money. To make sense. Since when did our leaders start realizing that? We've realized that since even before independence. We're still on the path of realization. The best way of learning is learning from other people's mistakes. Why is it that Switzerland refines most of the gold in the world? Why is it that a lot of it is ending up in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates? Why is it that Belgium, Brussels, it is the chocolate capital of the world? What, do they produce chocolate? We are simply not thinking, Kojo. We are not. And once we continue not to think, others will think for us, benefit from our stupidity, and will continue to be impoverished. If I'm sounding a bit hard this morning, it's because I think we need that wake up. We're still sleeping. Africa is a giant. Africa should be the wealthiest continent. It should be like we see in the Black Panther. You see how they portray a certain African entity that is powerful, that has vibranium. That's
where we are supposed to be.
Actually, we have vibranium here. I mean, so to speak. See, we have all those wonderful things, but we are not using them.
The world will not be able to survive more.
In fact, we are the oxygen the rest of the world breathes. Exactly. Without us, they can't do anything.
Everything is here. It looks like God intentionally decided to put everything on our continent.
I don't like that context though. That thing where people say the story about God creating. And he asked, but have you seen the people I put there? Because I don't think
I was not even coming to the people I put there.
God never does something in a negative sense. He put us here, gave us the resources for us to exploit them for our benefit. And unfortunately, we are fooling.
God gives you the opportunities, he gives you those you can take advantage of. So he knew that we could exploit these ones. That's why he gave them to us. So we have to then wake up to know how we can take advantage of them, and not always begging people, multinationals, to come and set up, and then they will give us peanut of those resources.
Kojo, let's get into the papers. Why? I mean, there are just a few that have come, but pardon us if this morning we've sounded so passionate. It's just that sometimes being... I have so many friends who have left Ghana.
Because of how they
And these are not just people without skills. These are professionals.
Yeah.
Architects, accountants, pharmacists, nurses, medical doctors, even lawyers. Or, in fact, I saw something pathetic yesterday, but just before we get into the papers. And I didn't even know. You know when you're going towards, from Abelinkpe, the fire service station. Do you know the fire service station?
Usually, limit your taking me around Accra.
So for those of you who know Abelinkpe, before you weave into Jowolo, or before you get to Mofra Place and all of that, there's the fire station to your right. To your left, I don't want to mention the name of that agency. It does travel and tours.
Okay.
I've been seeing people
Rush there.
queuing
Okay.
left to right of the road, forming. And I always ask myself, what is going on here? So we went for an interview yesterday, our crew, and then we were coming back. And I asked some of my crew, these people who come here, is it, because I know that travel and tours agency is there. So is it, and they said, oh yes, they have a way of, getting people to Canada or so. So a lot of people come here. You should see the queue.
Oh.
All those people want to get out of Ghana.
Anyway, well, but as we are saying that, I think that we should also acknowledge the steps that have been taken to at least get some processing being done. You know of the Gold Coast refinery or so that has been set up. Maybe as we are going hard on them, we should say that we acknowledge those ones. Let's have more of it so that we can process more.
Do you know why I'm not referencing that?
No.
Do you know how long that has been in the pipeline and has been sitting there?
Well, but now that it's coming up, we should also acknowledge it.
I actually had a discussion once on that and why it was still. So you see all these things. But anyway, let's.
But again, just before we go, there was this student from Mpoho.
Oh yeah,
whose picture was on the social media that he's got some incredible grades.
I sent his details to the in-house representative for Impoho. Don't mention it.
He did well.
And he told me he had already.
Oh yeah, he had called him.
Extended a hand.
Yes. But today, GMPC Foundation.
Yes.
They met him yesterday with his father to give him a full scholarship to pursue law in the University of Ghana, Legon.
I found that to be.
Exactly.
In fact, while I have my issues with the GNPC and some of the things they do with their money, in this instance, reaching out and looking at what Galamsey is doing to our nation, I think it's only fitting that we...
So we need to applaud Dr. Dominic Edua and his people. He is the executive director of the foundation. When they heard it, they saw it on social media, and then they went in straight to invite the boy and say that tell him, look, we are willing to give you this, and they've concluded everything. Beginning next academic year, the boy will be in Legon pursuing law. So that's beautiful. One day when he becomes a lawyer, his story will motivate a lot of these people in the Mpoho area. That look, I was once like you. When I completed senior high school, I didn't have help, so I went into Galamsey, but fortunately something came out, and I also want to give back to the society. So it's something good that GMPC Foundation have done. My friend Edem Gomashi is the PA to the Deputy Minister for Land and Natural Resources.
Okay.
He's watching us. Edem, good morning to you. Well, I have the Daily Guide newspaper and the Finder.
I have the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Okay.
It's a lean morning. We're on a diet. So you go ahead with your two papers.
Anyway, so on the front page of the Daily Guide, court stops Charles Bishu's arrest. It's on page 6.
That's an interesting.
Baumia shakes MPP, files for flag bearer. The story is on page 3. Parliament approves new Get Fund formula. Otumfo starts Boko pitch talks, and MPP rakes 3.3 million cedis from presidential aspirants. So now let me go to this one on page 3. In a widely anticipated move, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has announced his intention to submit his nomination forms for the New Patriotic Party's presidential race today. Dr. Bawumia, who is seen as a front-runner for the position, took to Twitter to share the news with his followers. In a tweet, he said, quote, "Dear friends, God willing, tomorrow, Friday, 16 June, I shall file my nomination forms and contest the @NPP_GH presidential primary. It is possible," unquote. On Tuesday, May 30, the Vice President's nomination forms were picked up on his behalf by former Vice Chairman Fred Owari and former National Organizer and Campaign Coordinator Sami Awuku. Okay, so that's the story. Relatedly, With just 9 days to the close of nominations for the new Patriotic Party presidential primary, aspiring presidential hopefuls are required to pay a filing fee of 300,000 Ghana cedis. As of Thursday, June 15, 2023, a total of 11 aspirants have picked nomination forms and had paid non-refundable nomination fee of 50,000 cedis as part of the requirement. If all the aspirants submit their forms, the MPP will be smiling all the way to the bank with 3,300,000 cedis recharged. The MPP filing fee is 200,000 less than the NDC's 500,000 cedis charged on the party aspirants. So that's the story there with the MPP. Now, that's the story about Bawumia filing the nomination forms today and the MPP raking in some 3.3 million cedis. Now, this story also says the endorsement come. So I'm told that already a major show of support and love. Dr. Bawumia has received the endorsement of several influential political figures in his ambition to lead the ruling party ahead of the 2024 general elections. The support for Dr. Bawumia reflects his overwhelming popularity and grassroots support, especially in the party stronghold of the Ashanti region. Okay. Now, another story here says Parliament has approved revised 2023 Ghana Trust Fund formula for the distribution of 1,869,563,000 cedis. This year's allocation, which is a reduction of over 28% compared to that of 2022, was made in accordance with the Get Fund Act 2000, Act 581, as amended by Act 972, and the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Act 2017, Act 947. So that's how it is now. It says an amount of 31,625,000 was allocated to MPs to enable them monitor and undertake projects in their constituencies. Wow, we need to keep an eye on this one. 31 million for them to monitor and undertake projects. Now, we're also being told that 170 million has been allocated to the tertiary subsector of the total expected inflow from the national budget for 2023 to support a range of activities and interventions. The secondary subsector also was allocated 617 million cedis of a total spending from the budget, while a total allocation of 88.5 million was allocated for the procurement of basic education textbooks. Wow.
Right.
Wow, how much? 88.5 for textbooks. We need to ask, where are the textbooks then? Because if monies are being allocated, we should be asking, where are the textbooks?
But I have an interesting, I want all the viewers to, and I don't know whether it is my senior man, but let me just do this. Kojo, one of the messages, people have shared different thoughts, but one of them says, hey, you guys are too negative. You are not helping your station at all. Why would I want to start my day with such negativity? But it's the person who sent it that Maxwell Kofi Juma.
Oh.
Now, I went on Facebook to check whether it was the Maxwell Kofi Juma. It is looking like it, though I cannot independently verify. But the person says, Managing Director at Gehog Distilleries Company Limited, worked at the MPP, Prempe, Konongo Dumasi Senior High School. I do not know whether it is. But it's interesting because this person says this, sharing a lot of NPP-related matters, and then just looking at the person's post, just go a little low. The person shares something that says, never sugarcoat anything. Never sugarcoat anything.
Okay.
Say it as it is.
So we are saying it as it is.
So maybe I'll just reference you to your post dated July the 11th, 2022, whichever Maxwell Kofi Juma this is. It is what it is. You see, that is why I feel we are where we are. Because if an elderly person is fooling, Kojo, in our country we say, oh, are you a penny?
Yeah.
No, fooling is fooling. Ujimi. It is what it is. Don't sugarcoat it. That is what other jurisdictions do. There may be a time when I have fooled, tell me in the face. We learn, we move on. This whole thing about, that is why we are where we are. So whichever Maxwell Kofi Juma it is, over to you. Let's proceed.
But I hope he could also mention that we also acknowledge some of the things that they are doing right.
Obviously.
Yeah. So
and that is why a lot of the time on my show, even when there are negative comments, I'll take them as well because it's all together. It can't always be all negative or all positive. There must be an in-between.
Okay, now an Accra High Court has issued an interlocutory injunction prohibiting the Office of the Special Prosecutor from arresting former Secretary of the defunct Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, who has been declared wanted for corruption and corruption-related activities. The court, presided over by Justice Nicholas Abodakpi, in a ruling restricted the OSP from going ahead with the execution of the arrest warrant it secured last week until the final determination of a suit filed by Mr. Bisu seeking to stop the OSP from investigating him. So that is a story there from the Daily Guide newspaper.
All right, let's proceed. So, Daily Graphic, electricity access hits 90% 2024. That's according to the Energy Minister. The same person who was saying the last time that we will not veer again into doomsday when already, I found it interesting when my own friend. Sometimes I find it's difficult because Paul Grave, Wachidankwa, government's spokesperson on governance and security, he's my friend. But when he came here and he was, there's no light off situation, and we activated the phone lines, Charlie, it didn't look good.
But is there doomsday?
People were not, but is there doomsday? But there's
intermittent power.
When we say doomsday, it comes with a certain very but
so maybe intermittent power,
which we are not used to anyway. Let's not try and create a certain impression. No, because now it is very frequent. In some places, practically every 2 days, your lights are going off for about 8 hours,
maybe because
10 hours, 6 hours. Go to Adenta, go to Adregano, go to East Legon, go to Jowlu, go to Abelenkpe, go to Taifa. People call
Can we find out why those places are? Because where I live, I don't have this. But so what is the issue? Is it a localized issue that we need to deal with, or what? I'm only saying
people want light.
Exactly. Yes.
People want power.
I'm saying that
people needed to do their work. That is the bottom line. I get the point you're making, but you see, I get concerned because we're facing our PPA or the IPP challenge, where they need 450 million to stay afloat. They've told us, and we don't have that money, and we owe them to the tune of 1.5 billion. And actually, now we don't have excess capacity. We need more capacity. In the coming years, all the energy experts I've spoken to say that Kojo Poku himself, who is contesting for the MPP's flag bearership, he has said it, among others. If we don't get more capacity in 2-3 years, there will be doomsday again. Which is the point I'm making, that why spend money how many years ago only for you to not plan so that a few years down the line you get into the trap of doomsday again? How does that make any sense? So let's this is why rhetoric in this country, leaders dressed well, suit, go to other places. They are not even in suits. They are on the ground doing the work. Here, what's your suit? Pumping. We are not delivering anything. Our politicians.
Anyway, there was this contract signed for a power purchase agreement in Kumasi, isn't it? Is it 500 something kilovolt or recently?
The 160 something kilovolts
in Kumasi.
There was.
So, but
our generational needs, if you look at the
is more.
Exactly. So we need to do a lot more.
Okay.
But access to electricity is expected to reach 90% by the close of next year, the Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, has said. He explained that the current level of access was 88.75%, and by next year, the country would hit the 90% mark, making it possible for the nation to achieve universal access by 2025. Mr. Minister, we pray that happens. We even pray that you supersede or exceed that. But let's look at our generational generational challenges and forestall any doom. So I've been through doom, so I don't want to go back again. I don't want to go back to that place. It's not cool. Let's work on that. Court halts OSP's arrest of Charles Bisu. That's an interesting development. You've got into it. Otumfuo steps in to resolve Boku conflict. And let me just do so we can wrap. Capsized boat had 100 children. This is a sad one. Survivors from a fishing boat that sank off southern Greece in one of Europe's worst migrant disasters say up to 100 children may have been on board. 9 women sue Bill Cosby over sexual assault. Charlie, the way I grew up watching this guys, the Bill Cosby show, and the way things have turned out. Australia blocks new Russian embassy near its parliament. And on the back page, Media Foundation for West Africa launches support center for RTI implementation. A conversation we're getting into this morning. I'm done for my end. Any add-ups before we go?
Well,
And
the
these are
finder
studies.
says, be guided by our cultural values in considering proper human values bill. Yagbonwura says. Dr. Bawumia found nomination today. I think we've dealt with that one. 82 million cedis stolen from financial institutions. Momo account. 188 staff of financial institutions part of the criminals. Wow, this is the biggest story we have to look into. 82 million stolen from financial institutions, and the staff of those.
Have you heard the recent one where?
Yeah, the young guy. Yes.
Yeah, 1.2 million.
Yeah, he bought
a former IGP's account and all of that. You know that there's this thing that sometimes they say that some of the banks, of course, we are not saying that all of them do it or that they get into it, but sometimes, someone may not necessarily let his or her partner know that I have this account, I have this money, and then the person passes on. There are ways the central bank has to deal with that. But sometimes too, there are unscrupulous elements in there who try to capitalize and take the money without anyone knowing. Because maybe they find out that the person is dead and all of that. And
I always say that.
It's a tricky situation.
I have a feeling that my mom even left some money somewhere that we didn't know. We're young, so that money is gone. So really, but staff of banks should be truthful people. Sometimes when I see that one CD from my account is gone, you don't pay attention, But one city from 100,000 people, is 100,000 cedis, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of money. So this is an issue that should open up the banks, the Bank of Ghana to go into this and find out how we can stop this. Because it's just too much. Now, fraudsters steal 26 million from mobile money account in 2022, an increase of 117%. We're not safe.
It is what it is. Let me just do these birthday messages so we can wrap it up. Do you have any birthday messages? If not, I'll do mine.
I don't have one. Just that yesterday, Dominic Kisiabua of Ekosi sang celebrated his 40th birthday. So, blessings to him. He's a very good guy.
He celebrated his what?
40th.
Oh, okay.
He's on the 4th floor now.
Hey.
So yeah.
Hey, well, I'll tell you something after we knock off from here. But anyway. Anyway, so the birthday messages. My mischievous producer is whispering certain things into my ear that I will not. If he goes down that trajectory, I'll mention kind of nickname back. Do you remember his nickname? Do you remember? Now he's begging. He's begging.
After they don't catch him, so say after the next year, Manchester United.
Happy birthday,
Manchester United. I'm like, Echo.
I nearly mentioned the setting.
Now you do good then.
Happy birthday to happy birthday to the assistant headmistress, domestic of Mfantsiman Girls Senior High School, Mrs. Eunice Mary Yeboah. Today is your birthday, and a very happy birthday to you. God richly bless you, Mrs. Eunice Mary Yeboah. Also the birthday of Rosalind Nantoma of the Passport Office, Accra Digital Center. I do not know whether you're still there, but Rosalind Nantoma, a very happy birthday to you. God bless and keep you. Now, coming up, we are going to serve you Prime Take with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi, and his guest for today is Mercy Tego. Look forward to that conversation up next. But let me just do what I have to do before that. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic is still calling on you. Come for free prostate screening, free female fertility screening. Locate them in Accra Spintex opposite the Shell signboard. Kumasi Kronomabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. There is Takrade Anaji Estate, Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswe, Siaman Zema. You can reach them on 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, bringing us to the end of the news review. They say the end to chronic disease. Let's settle now for Prime Take with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi.